Welcome to the Girls Abroad podcast with Jordy and Santi.
We've been living abroad for the last 2 years. We share our highs and lows, our tips and tricks, and life in our 20s.
Welcome to episode 7 of the Girls Abroad podcast. This episode is all about the seasons of your life. So this whole concept of seasons comes from this Bible quote that goes, "For everything there is a season." What that basically means is that there's a season where life might be a little more quiet. There might be a season of where you're focusing on your career, or you have a family, or you're supporting your family. But there are different seasons that we go through, and sometimes they look very different to one another. And that can be an adjustment to make going through your 20s. When your early 20s are, some more exciting times, you mature and you prepare to go into more quiet and more mature seasons. A season that I feel like I used to be in that lasted quite a long time throughout my early 20s was, this season of summer. It was just super exciting. I had so much energy. My health was just like amazing, and I was super social, and I had less responsibilities, and so it was really fun. I had a very fun early 20s season, but I am now 26, and that's still young, but seasons have changed, and I think if I could compare my most recent season, it would probably be close to more of like a winter, more of a reflective, quiet period. And I think the greatest disservice that I probably did to myself was comparing the two seasons and feeling like when I was in my winter that I had to be in my summer, instead of just enjoying the season that I was in and taking it for what it is and knowing that there are other seasons to come. This is just necessary in the trajectory of my life and where I'm going to go.
And I guess you're not always in the same season as people around you. So you can't compete, you can't compare, you can't kind of reflect on someone else's life and their seasons just because you might be in a different season to them. So you're not striving to beat that person to a new season, you're not striving to beat that person in the season, and it's very much your seasons are personal to you in your life, and somebody else's is personal to them and their life.
That is such a good point. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
My one word of wisdom.
Which is a very valuable piece of wisdom, because we do compare, and it's just not helpful, really. Mm-hmm. It actually doesn't matter what other people are doing.
And it doesn't affect you in your life. I think that may be a season that I've gone through recently, in the past 3 years or so, of what difference does it make comparing yourself to somebody else? Nothing other than probably stress.
Out of curiosity, do you feel like you were also in your summer season and most recently in your winter?
Yeah, I think I definitely had a summer season. That was kind of early 20s. And then I kind of went into a bit of a winter. And then I think I came back out of a winter into a summer. And now I'm kind of in a winter again. So I feel like I'm a roller coaster of a seasons type of person. And I think just based on where I am, who I'm surrounding myself with.
Yeah, true. I think that also the seasons of your life can be comparable to the seasons of nature. So while summer and winter seem like the most prominent seasons, there is a spring and there is an autumn. I believe that autumn's like you're shedding, you're letting go, you're reflecting. Winter is you're reflecting more deeply, hibernating, resting. And then you go into your spring. You're starting to prepare you're planting your seeds.
Yeah, ready for new beginnings.
I'm ready for my spring.
Do you think you're in your spring now or not quite?
I actually do feel like I am. I'm coming into my spring now. There was being like a frost that's come through. I'm like,
Lemon global warming, changing up the seasons.
Where I'm like, wait, am I back in my winter? Yeah, but I do feel like I'm in my spring. Do you feel like you're in your spring?
I think I'm more in my autumn.
You feel like you're about to go into another winter?
Yeah.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
Why do you feel that way?
New Zealand. I think it's just the unknown.
Mm.
Kind of making me a little bit more like, okay, prepare, be grateful for what you've got now, and just know that you're unsure of what's going to come next.
Proceed with caution.
Be cautious. Yeah. I hope I skip winter altogether and I just like bounce over the top, and then I end up in spring. I think spring is a nice season.
Winter is probably the least liked season, but it's also probably one of the most necessary, right? Because we don't have those fun summer feels without the winter seasons. Even when you're living on the equator like us, there's a monsoon season. There's always an equivalent. So just like the seasons cycle through, there are also cycles in your life. There are cycles in your relationship. Esther Perel talks about in relationships how they naturally follow a cycle of harmony, disharmony, repair. There's always like work behind the scenes that's going on, whether you're fully aware and conscious of that or not. So with relationships, how they cycle through, I think that it is helpful to know whether a person is in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. It's rare that you have a relationship, friendship, whatever it is that will last a lifetime. But just seeing it for what it is, everybody comes into your life for a reason. They might not always stay, and that's okay. I once heard this analogy that's really stuck with me, where the pencil is walking around with the nut and the pencil sharpener is walking around with the bolt. Let me land. Stay with me.
Okay.
So basically, people are walking around with the wrong match. The pencil should be with the pencil sharpener. The nut should be with the bolt. But, maybe they haven't spent enough time alone. Maybe they haven't gone through the experiences that they need to, and they, went ahead and jumped into something that wasn't necessarily right, or out of fear, and therefore got themselves in a situation where they were with the wrong match. And that's not even just romantically. That could be friendship-wise. You can jump into a friendship. That could be work-wise. You might jump into a job opportunity without really thinking it through. I think that it's also helpful when you know yourself. And unfortunately, you don't know yourself at the age of 18. You've got a few trials and tribulations to go through. But the better you know yourself, the easier it'll be to determine whether someone is in your life for a reason, season, or a lifetime, or whether you even want them to be there for any of those three things, because you get to decide whether you want someone in your life or not.
And I think as well, you as a pencil don't know if you're with the right sharpener until you've tried a few sharpeners out.
You could be a Faber-Castell sharpener trying to sharpen the Statler or whatever the other brand is pencil. You got the wrong brand, buddy. Yeah, you're using the wrong brand, wrong color, wrong brand.
I don't know.
Color doesn't matter.
Color
doesn't matter.
It definitely doesn't. I'm sorry. We've now got haters. We didn't have haters before. We now do. What I'm trying to say is you don't have to try every sharpener out. That is not what I'm trying to say.
Don't do that.
But experience and knowing yourself is what's going to help you find the right sharpener.
Emphasis on that experience. Yeah. When you're more exposed to different characters, you start to learn which ones you have time for and which ones you enjoy a pleasant, like, small talk conversation with, but you're not going to be hanging out with them extensively.
I believe that it's okay to go through these seasons with different people, different relationships, different friendships, that maybe over a certain amount of time, or of you realizing you're changing, your seasons are changing, you're not the same person that you used to be. Just like it is having relationships with people and you leave that in the past. Normalizing the fact that that can happen with friends as well.
Yeah. Yeah, just like it does with other relationships in your life too. That is an important thing to note. I think people really hold on to, including me as well, really hold on to friendships of the past or things like that when, sometimes it's done its time, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean it won't circle back maybe one day. You realign and you find yourselves connecting again, but there doesn't have to be any hard feelings. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
I think as well, when people see that quote of people are in your life for a reason, season, or lifetime, a lot of people might think, well, I only want people that are going to be in my life for a lifetime. And that's probably the hardest kind of person to find, because you're going to change, and it's got to be a person that's ready to change with you, because, you know, who you are this year is not who you're going to be next year or the year after, let alone 30, 40 years down the line. So really looking for those people that will grow with you, who try and understand you as well. That's been a really big thing that I've reflected on, is whether the people that I choose to have in my life, if they go out of their way to try to understand me, you know, that's what I'm looking for. That's not to say you shouldn't be a good communicator and, you know, make good choices and put in effort, but also you don't want to be around people who seem to sometimes be insistent on misunderstanding you.
You need those people who are in there in your life just for a reason or a season, because you grow from those people. You learn a lot about other people, but you learn a lot about yourself with them coming in and out of your life.
And even the course of the friendship just runs out, but you actually look back and you're just so grateful. Like I look back at my earlier, you know, teen years or earlier 20s, and I think like, oh, that was so nice that I had that friendship at that time, or that kind of relationship at that time, and that was so lovely for that season of my life. And, you know, it might not necessarily suit the season I'm in now, and that's okay, but yeah, I'm grateful to look back on that. Now we've come to our last segment, Quick Fire 5. We're going to go through some made up hypothetical scenarios and we're just going to give our take on what we would do if we were in that situation.
Scenario number 1. You've made a new friend and they are getting all jiggy with it with your partner.
Firstly, do nothing, like front on, you know. I would observe what my partner was doing in that scenario.
So it comes down to your partner's actions.
I'd say so. I would say so. I don't think that it's my job to be monitoring other people's behaviors around my partner. So I really would just take a back seat. Like, this is on you. Okay, second scenario. Your friend keeps stealing money from you.
First of all, how?
If you've got like cash laying around your house, your cash keeps going missing every time they're coming to your house. What would you do?
I would need to almost lay a trap to see if it is that person. But if I've confirmed that this person is stealing money and I've got like evidence,
you have to be sure.
I have to be sure. And I'd probably ask them. I wouldn't say, I would ask first of all, and just kind of be like, give them an opportunity to explain. And then if not, like, again, I don't like confrontation. So it would be like, okay, we're moving on, but we're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
If
it's a repeat offense, I think asking is a good way.
Yeah.
Just asking, not accusing. I know it was you. Because you might also be wrong. You might also find out that you're wrong, and then it's just embarrassing for you.
Exactly. Scenario number 3. You get into a new job and you are now working with a friend that was already your friend. And because you're such a good, hard-working colleague, you do a lot of the work. But your friend starts to take a back seat and they're taking all of the recognition from your hard work.
Good scenario. I mean, I personally wouldn't be bothered about the recognition part as long as the job is getting done. The part that would probably frustrate me is if it is supposed to be a team effort and I need that other person to do something and they're not pulling their weight consistently, that's the part that I would need to bring up. And I would just say, look, I really need your help. Work with me, please. Like, I got to meet this deadline. I can't do it by myself. I need you to, can you please do this? And I will be, that'd be great.
Yeah.
There are ways to ask people of things without having to get short and sharp with them, Okay, scenario 4. Once again, hypothetical situation. You're at work. You notice that a colleague keeps coming in and they are highly intoxicated a majority of the time. What do you do?
First of all, kind of depends on your job. If this is a teacher, holy heck. I would honestly go to whoever is my next up person and just kind of mention that you're worried about this person. I would say something.
Would you say something directly to the person?
Not if they're drunk. There's no point.
My go-to is usually just go straight to the person.
You're nice.
Yeah.
I'm like, dickhead making dickhead moves.
Yeah.
Scenario number 5. Finale. Your partner is consistently late to everything. They say they will pick you up at 7 o'clock. 7:30 rolls around. You're still waiting. You book a restaurant dinner at 8 p.m. Doesn't show up till 8:15, leaving you sitting there alone. They are late consistently.
I'd wait 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give a grace period. You know, because friends are sometimes running late. Singapore, you're running late, you know, because of transport stuff, public transport, walking, whatever. So there is a grace period, you know. But if it is a consistent thing, I'm just not coming.
Yeah.
I'm just not showing up. You know, I won't just like, you know, not show up, but maybe communicate that.
Ghost. I'm ghosting ya.
I'm ghosting, yeah. Yeah. If they were super duper late, I'd just say, hey, look, looks like you're really busy. Like, no worries. I'm like heading home or I'm off to here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have a great night. No hard feelings. It doesn't need to be a dramatic thing, but also like I'm not wasting my time.
Fair enough, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would lie to them about when they needed to be there so that, woo, shock.
So you ain't waiting around.
Exactly. So they're waiting around, possibly.
Yeah.
I would love for them to feel anxiousness.
You're like, here's a taste of your own medicine.
So that rounds up our quickfire 5 and some possible scenarios of those people who are in different seasons of their life. Thanks for listening to episode 7. Catch you next Sunday.
Peace.